Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposed in the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It is March 25th. Happy New Year's. Shout out to everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, my goodness. Hello. I was trying to wake up Sylvia because, yesterday was her birthday. I'm like, maybe she's hungover. I don't know. Shout out to Sylvia. Shout out to my oldest who turned older yesterday. 18. We have officially I have a hard time saying it. We have an 18-year-old. I don't have to say adult. He's not really an adult until he's 21. So, so shout out to him. Okay. He, we had a little bit of a family thing yesterday and, just spent some time and whatnot. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Welcome. All right. Look at all those rabbits. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Welcome. Yes, happy birthday to them. So we have so much to get into. I saw Vic and I saw Vicky here. Who else is here? Let me see if any other mods in here? Lord have mercy. I'm waiting for the people to wake up. He said, Rabbit, I'm your age and mine's just turned 20. Really? I'm telling you, man. I'm not ready. I told you guys what happened the day before. He was like texting me, talking about, I can get in. Oh, okay. Cheeks is here. I can get into a club. I said, no, you need a permission slip for that. That's not going to happen. I'm like, you're turning 18 and that's the first thing you can do is think about how you can get into a club. And I started thinking, well, what did I do when I turned 18? What was I so excited about? And I can't really remember. It wasn't a club though. I'll tell you that. He said, I'm listening. I'm trying to watch. Well, don't get in trouble now, Vic. Don't get in trouble now. Okay. Your baby turned 19 in December. Oh, shout out to your baby. If you were in Canada, he would be able to drink at 19. Well, damn. He's not like, I don't think he's ever really been like, I'm just trying to think because, he's kind of in trouble. He's gotten in trouble before, but luckily not for substances or anything like that. So he's gotten in trouble before for running mouth like his mom does. I ran my mouth a lot when I was his age. So, you know how they say, you'll pay it back at some point. I pay it back with his mouth, because he's like, yeah. So that's where a lot of the arguments kind of start for me and him. You wish you could be 18? Nah, I'm good. I would be fine just being 25 again. You know what I mean? You said it's so bittersweet when they grow up. My oldest is it's turning 24 this year, and my youngest 17. Oh my goodness. Your youngest is 17. Yeah, and by the way, you look great. You wouldn't even be able. You look like you're 17 in this picture, okay? So we're doing okay. We're doing fine. Listen, I still get carded, okay? I still get carded. So we must be doing something good, okay? All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Let's get going. You said my son is hilarious. Oh man. So we have so much to get into. We have 3 topics and whatnot. Now, before we get started, I kind of want to tell you guys something that I'm probably going to be talking about on members only. It's something that I haven't been really ready to talk about, but I feel like and I can't even really get into too many details. So I have to be very mindful and careful about what I do and don't say and stuff like that. So I am in a legal situation right now. And we will, for the members, we'll definitely talk more about that there. I think it's important. So I'm kind of putting that out there for those that have supporters of the channel or follow the channel. Make sure you guys turn on your membership or renew your membership because I feel like that's probably the place where I feel a little bit more comfortable, given that my day ones are like day one ones are typically members. So we will get into that on the members only. Okay. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And we'll be talking. Okay. I'm fine. I promise. Everything's gonna be fine. I promise y'all. But I can't really get into too much right now. That'll be for members only. Okay, Storm has been a member. Storm, I feel like it's been longer than 16 months. Like, it can't be 16 months. I feel like you've been here for like 2 or 3 years at this point. Storm, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Shout out to you. I'm so happy you're awake, by the way, because I know the morning ones are kind of hard for you. Okay. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Storm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we have so much to get into. I want us to talk about we're going to talk about Kendra Duggar just for a little bit. We're going to get into the interview that Savannah Guthrie just did. So we definitely going to be talking about Savannah Guthrie. And then we're going to get into, because you guys have been asking me, Rabbit, there's more updates on the, what is it called? JLR. There's a 911 call. There's different things that are happening on the JLR stuff. So can we get into that? Yes. By popular request at this point. And I'm telling you, I've been getting emails about it. So I feel like I have no choice but we gonna bring it back. And again, I try to kind of diversify a little bit the content, a little bit of everything. So just so people are aware. But we are let's start with the Kendra stuff first because that's a little bit shorter video. It won't take us too long to get in here with this one. Let's see. Let's do that. Okay, hold on. My camera's like right over here. Okay, so yesterday she had a hearing, but maybe not. I don't know. There's like different things that are happening with this situation. So let's get into this.
Showed that Kendra Duggar was scheduled for a hearing in Elm Springs District Court today. 5 News arrived only to be told that the hearing had been moved to the Washington County Courthouse. After getting there, officers told our crew that it was instead happening at the Washington County Detention Center. Officials there told us that the hearing would be over Zoom, but could not confirm her hearing happened until the end of the day. 5 News has reached out to the Taneytown District Court prosecuting attorney and the Washington County prosecuting attorney for more details, but we have not heard back yet. We've also reached out to the Duggars attorneys and are waiting to hear back. Well, Joseph Duggar remains in the Washington County Jail. We talked with the Bay County Sheriff's Office in Florida this morning. They tell us here at 5 News that they have not yet come to pick up Joseph Duggar and bring him back to Florida to face the charges there. We'll let you know when that happens.
That reporter, to me, looks like she's kind of like telling us to say, we'll let you know when that happens. You said Kendra is having a bad year. Yes, she is. I mean, it's a really bad situation overall, but I truly hope that this is like a wake-up call for her because she really needs to get out, have her kids get out and everything. Now, Jinger Duggar, who's also in this family unit, I guess she addresses these allegations as well. Oh, hold up, y'all. I thought I was playing it.
And there were some other legal issues brought against
Sorry about that. Here we go.
Ginger's brother, my brother-in-law, Joe Duggar. Recently, Joe Duggar was arrested on the charges of abusing a minor. And there were some other legal issues brought against Joe and his wife that we were made aware of, and it's been devastating to hear. We wanted to share a few things that were on our heart while also taking a bit of space this week, as it's been a really difficult week for us to process and think through and pray through this with the podcast. We're so grateful for all of you and the support you've shown, the prayers you've extended and are extending. But we really wanted to just take a moment to let you know how we're processing this. This was devastating news to hear when we got the news last week. And it's been a really difficult week of trying to process this, a week of us crying out to the Lord, asking for mercy and grace for those affected by this. But Ginge, how are you holding up?
Well, it has been such a long week. It's been one of those weeks that feels like years. And I did not think that my heart could break like it has this week. The pain and heartbreak that we've had over this, and just thinking of how it's affected so many. Yeah, it's just unthinkable. It's so hard and painful and on many levels.
Yeah, thinking about the victim who was brave enough to share her story has been heartbreaking. Just the effect on that young person's life is unimaginable.
So for those, and Caroline, yes, I'll give you guys a really, really quick summary. Okay, so really quick summary. We have a situation where, Joseph Duggar picks up some charges from Florida pertaining to at the time she was 9 years old, a 9-year-old victim. Okay, so a lot of this that's separate from what's happening with Kendra, but Kendra and Joseph also have some charges in Arkansas. My understanding is that they came from a home inspection. Okay, a home inspection that apparently in this home inspection some stuff went down, where they were reporting that locks from the inside were found, and so that's where these misdemeanors came from, not only for Kendra, but also for Joseph. So just so people are aware that there's like different dynamics, different charges. And so they weren't really like everybody's surprised about the Kendra stuff, which I would be too, honestly. Jinger, I think, has been like, ever since what happened with Joshua, the oldest, and how he's victimized 4 of his sisters, and they had to put the locks on the doors because Joseph was sneaking into the rooms in the middle of the night and everything. It's just like, it's a horrible situation, and that should be a wake-up call for people that family abuse, essay that stays within the family, it really does impact everybody. Siblings, grandchildren, children, it separates people. And we're literally watching, when Jinger speaks on it, with other siblings speak on it, we're literally watching some of this play out right in front of us. It has such a ricocheted ripple effect when there is abuse within the family and secrets are kept, guys. That's what we're watching right now. So Jinger is kind of saying her piece about her brother's arrest, her brother being Joseph, right? So just imagine years later, your oldest brother, Joshua, gets arrested. And then years later, now you're dealing with another sibling. Okay. Now we could, we've been talking about this, like, this is horrible. And then the bigger picture is that some of these young women were victims of that abuse. I don't know about Joseph, but definitely Joshua.
And then to see the ripple effect of that horrific crime just across the board, it just has so many damaging, rippling effects. I think that's been, for me, the forefront of my mind is just thinking, the horror of a crime like that affecting so many for so many years. Yeah, it's devastating to think about. It's devastating. Obviously, where do we go from here? We are praying for the victim. We're praying for all of those affected, asking that God's grace would be apparent and would show up, even though on a human level, it's hard to see where His grace would show up. In a situation like this, it's easy just to see the darkness.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really left us in a place of asking the Lord to be kind, to be merciful, asking the Lord to expose truth that's been hidden, praying for wisdom for the officials who are going to, in the months and years ahead, seek to pursue earthly justice so that this doesn't happen to other people. but then ultimately just resting in the promises of God and really finding ourselves in a place of going to the Lord and just asking him to be gracious and kind and merciful.
This is very difficult. Let me tell you the and I know this has always been my tiff with not so much God, but with religion and institutions, right? Because it is a massive like betrayal of the heart, of the mind, of the soul. When, and I say this by experience too, right? And please know I love God and I'm I'm very spiritual more than religious. Okay. When you have an institution that is founded on and by people under, you know, the idea that we're helping and we're, you know, we're here, we're going to pray things away and stuff like that, it feels like such a betrayal when the people that base their, you know, base your upbringing on kind of these religious teachings. We really follow conservative religious teachings. We really do all this, right? They do all this under that umbrella. And then the abuse is perpetrated and it's felt within that family unit that is supposed to protect you. It's very difficult to not be angry, not only at the people that didn't protect you, at the institutions, and even sometimes at God, right? Because you kind of have to understand that, like, if you're sitting out there and you're and this is happening to you as a child and you're doing everything, you're reading the Bible, you're doing all kinds of things, all activities, you're helping your mom and your dad, you're following the 10 commandments, and I'm speaking from experience, y'all. You're doing all of this only to have this thing, this person who's your brother or whatever it may be, hurt you the way that they do. And then you wake up and then you're still supposed to follow this doctrine. And somehow you're supposed to be okay, but in the back of your mind, you're like, well, something's not okay. There is such inner conflict and healing that needs to occur here. And so that's why I'm like, I love that people say, you know, we're gonna pray. Absolutely. But there's also actions, right? Actions speak louder than words. And I think that God is okay with that too, right? And that's the part, it's like a betrayal that, and I feel it because I grew up in that kind of upbringing where it's like, you know, this way, that way, and this way. And some of you guys may even like feel it that way too, that it's like, whoa, man, how did this even happen? This was the environment I was supposed to trust people in. And I don't. Anyways, so this is a side note, but Cheeks, your comment kind of reminded me of that, and that's why I had to take it there. Mischief says, Mischief says, do you think Kendra testifies against Joseph will drop her charges and that's why they are charging her? No, because what is happening with Joseph in Florida is not, it's a separate case from what is happening in Arkansas. I don't think any charges would be dropped. No. Now, I've been hearing rumors and I don't know if any of this is confirmed. And I'm praying, and here I am praying, you know, because I do pray. I truly hope that we don't want any victims, but can you imagine if the victim was Kendra's younger sister? That's the rumor that's been told. Yeah. So I'm a little worried about that. Yeah. This idea, which is what Jim Bob said. We were praying. We were getting our son, the oldest, help. They were praying the Pedialyte away. You can't do that. This is not the exorcism. Even though you feel like maybe they need an exorcism, right? You can't do that, y'all. You can't just pray that away.
To draw near to the brokenhearted, the children especially, you just think of how this affects their life. It's devastating.
It's hard. I don't even have words. And yeah, all we can do in those moments is just cry out to God and ask him to sustain us, to give help. And because it just, yeah, you can't be prepared for news like this, even though we've experienced something very similar before with one of my other siblings who made unthinkable choices, decisions that have affected all of us.
Yeah.
And yet the pain and hurt that's caused to us, but then to so many others is just so hard. And so, yeah, it's hard to know, you know, what to do sometimes moving forward. You just feel the weight of it. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, it stuns you. Like you kind of feel like what now?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and it stunts your growth. It stunts your healing, anything like that. And the thing is, it's very important. Heal with No Nut Black TV. Shout out to you. Says you are right. My abuser was my uncle by marriage, a deacon in the church. Yeah, and like I said, I've even had. It's a hard thing to acknowledge when you have these kinds of people that are within your family, right? And then these are people that you grow up with, you celebrate, you do Christmas with, or they're supposed to be there for you, and then they take it upon themselves to harm you. And that's the thing that's difficult. That's difficult. And it's so damaging not only to like safety, safety in the family, especially if it happens in the family and their church figures, safety in the community, like it just distorts your thought of not only right and wrong, but safety, right? That you're not supposed to do that. It's nobody's supposed to do that, but if it's done to you through a person, especially if it's a person that's holy, or selected by God, it's a whole different complex form of trauma, and it just rewires your brain a different way. And that's why I'm like, man, I would be mad at it would be I'd be mad forever at a lot of people, my parents, maybe even God. Maybe it would take a while to get there, and it does take a while for people to get there. Anyways, thank you so much. And it happens, by the way, it happens in every culture. Every culture, I'm telling you, I even have religious, people in my, and what I mean, leaders in my family too. It happens in every culture. Every culture. I think it's important to just acknowledge it. That's it. Every culture has something going on. Even an exorcism wouldn't an exorcism, something, man. You can't cure things like that. You can't. It just it's one of those things where I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's very hard. It takes years, and people need to recognize their mistakes in that. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye on Kendra and the developing situation with the Duggars. Shout out to everybody that's been following us. Shout out to the new supporters that have been following us with that story. Well, with that case as well. Okay. All right, we are going to move on. Let me hold up. Let me shout out because I don't want to get too far behind, because I am far behind. Let me shout out. Oh my goodness, Karen, thank you, Karen, for renewing your membership. Shout out to you, Karen. And by the way, your birthday's coming up, so shout out to you. I know you just said you turning your birthday. I didn't want to. I think you said 74, 76. I think I saw the number 74 or 76. Shout out to you, love. Shout out to Karen. The Dashian or the Dashian in between. It's been a while. How's it go? Matt, where have you been? Is this Matt Bond? And I know you've been a member longer than 6 months. I hope you're doing well, Matt. Shout out to you, Matt. Infamous just gifted 5 memberships. Y'all put some hearts in the chat if you've been gifted. Thank you. Thank you, Infamous. Thank you. Shout out to my supporter, Infamous. Braddy Moon, miss you. Well, where you been all my life? You don't got to miss me. I'm here. Come over here. See, is that like I miss you, but come on. You don't have to. You can come over. Shout out to you. Sarah Lynn, member for 27 months. Shout out to you, Sarah Lynn. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Shout out to you. Thank you. And then U.S. Army retired. Retired or retied. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you for your service too, love. Shout out to you. Oh my God. Y'all are amazing. Thank you. All right. We got to move on. Let's talk about Savannah Guthrie. They did a little preview. I don't think that this is like the full interview. They've been teasing this interview that's about to happen. I haven't even watched it because I wanted to react with it, the preview with you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you watched.
With something that is very personal. It has now been 53 days since Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home in the middle of the night. And Hoda, yesterday, you got the chance to spend some time with her, girl. You sat down with Savannah, her first interview since her mother's disappearance.
Yeah, Craig, Al, and Carson, as you can imagine, it was a really emotional conversation. We're going to have the whole thing for you tomorrow and Friday. But first, we did want to bring you one of the moments from the interview where Savannah shared a message to anybody who may have information about Nancy.
Someone needs to do the right thing. We are in agony.
Yeah.
We are in agony.
Ooh.
It is unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
And to think of what she went through.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up every night, in the middle of the night, every night. And in the darkness, I imagine her terror. And it is unthinkable, but those thoughts demand to be thought.
Yeah.
And I will not hide my face. That she needs to come home now.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I mean,
How are you?
I'm okay. I mean, there is a desperation and all.
Ooh, I mean, look. You know, your family member, like, I wouldn't be able to, I don't know. I would need something to put me to sleep if I was in that position. What I mean by that, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to eat. I wouldn't be able to breathe. You're talking about your mom, like the woman that took care of you, you know, the woman that looked out for you. And it sounds like they had a really good, they had a really good upbringing as far as what mom did. Just to know that something terrible could have happened to her, or that she was harmed, or like, I don't know, man. This is just so sad. Whew. Knowing where Nancy is has to be, like, not knowing where she's at, right? It's just like, I don't know. You said she has so much grace, I would be tearing the world down. Yeah. You think it's given, what can you say more? What do you mean by that? I don't know, man. I don't know if it's giving that to me. I'm not an expert in that, so I really don't know. What I see somebody is somebody who's upset.
Also a steeliness about Savannah. I mean, she's hoping that somebody, whoever this person is, will see something and say something. And as you'll see in the coming days, she talks about so many things. She talks about the investigation. She talks about her faith. And she talks about how she's getting through. That was one portion there. And in the next portion, you'll see how she talks about how God's holding her hand. So and she also will describe what's been happening here. But I was sort of marveling that she was able to sit there with an outfit on, have a conversation, and also have just direct thoughts about what she sees going forward. So
gut-wrenching to watch someone you love so much be still post 50 days of this tragic event in this tortured limbo state.
That's exactly where it is.
Yet to still show so much resilience and grace among it all.
Yeah. And she will, I mean, she explains too, and you'll hear tomorrow, it's like no one's stealing her joy.
Right.
So you'll see both sides of that. So
Well,
we're
knowing
going
that her faith is so strong,
Oh,
that's got to be.
that's what sustained her out.
carrying her through.
I mean, that's
But
it.
no closer to closure. It's been so long to see
Yeah.
our friends still so tortured this far
No
after this
answers.
horrible event.
That's the thing, is like, what, y'all, where is Nancy? Where, like, at the very least, I think based on the last message, they've accepted that she's no longer here. Okay. They just want to put her to rest. And I think that everybody has that right. Everybody should get, like, I don't understand. And ultimately, the why behind all of this. And I know, listen, I know we get into this. Well, it's the Epstein and the this and the that. And let's look at Tommaso Cioni. And I'm just like, y'all, like, but why? What did she do? Or if it's not her, because here's the deal. If it's a targeted attempt, if this was targeted solely because of who Savannah Guthrie is, they're not going to stop. You do realize that. If this was targeted solely to attack Savannah Guthrie, they're not going to stop. Savannah Guthrie is here. Her mom may not be here, but it's like, which one is it? Like, what's the why? Y'all, and that's the scary part, is we don't even know why. Why? You said, I disagree. It's giving that she's trying to stay strong because she's the strongest one in the family. It's a lot of weight to hold to. Infamous, thank you so much for the $2. She lost bio dad at 16 years. At 16 years old, 2 heart attack. Oh my God. That must be hard, man. I'm really I love my dad, so that's really hard to even understand. That's what I want to know. Getting away with it, it's just making it braver and it won't stop. But in situations like it could be the circle, right? But this needs to be solved for many reasons, right? Number one, if they're trying to target her, they're going to target her again. If they were trying to get at her, they're going to try to get at her again. They did it through her mom. Something ain't right about this. Overall, this is just a weird situation, from the beginning.
And her brother and sister too.
Yeah.
But to her point, our only hope right now is that someone who is watching, someone who is listening, does the right thing, picks up the phone. Picks up the phone.
Yeah. You're going to hear a lot more from Savannah in her own words tomorrow and Friday right here on Today.
Again, anyone with any information, big or small, that could help this investigation, it is not too late. There's still time to do the right thing. We urge you to call that phone number on your screen, 1-800-CALL-FBI. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can...
And guys, here's the deal, is that there's probably so much we don't even know about this. Let me see if this is a different snippet.
To do the right thing.
Hold on.
We are in agony.
Yeah.
We are in agony. It is unbearable. And to think of what she went through. I wake up every night, in the middle of the night, every night. And in the darkness, I imagine her terror. And it is unthinkable, but those thoughts demand to be thought.
It's the not knowing, guys. Like, it's the... I think that's the most... when you know how a loved one dies, if they have cancer, or if they die like in a car accident, or if they, you kind of like, you don't ever really accept it, right? But like, you kind of understand, all right, they passed away. Like, you have some, what's the word? You have knowledge about what happened to them. You could bury them, or you could pay your respects in different ways and whatnot. But the fact that she doesn't know, and Savannah is one of many people out there that do not get the difference. Is she got a lot of attention, right? And she's asking for more help and support, right? There's a lot of people out there that go missing every day that don't get this kind of exposure, and families and loved ones that will never really find out like what happened to their loved one. You know what I mean? They don't get that closure. And Savannah is in that. She's not going to, she wants that closure. But I'm telling you that there's so many people out there that don't get that closure as well, and don't get that coverage. And it's okay to acknowledge that. I think that that's one thing that a lot of us can take away from this too, that is like, wait a minute. Just imagine the people that have not been found. Not to bring up cases, but like we could talk a lot about cases here of missing children that are presumed gone currently, whose bodies have not been found. How do you bring peace to that? Or even many children. Now we're talking about Savannah's mom. It's a real problem that we have here, guys. But I understand this piece, this part that she's conveying. She's like, it's the not knowing, and feeling like she was in fear, feeling like this is like, how do you make sense of this?
And I will not hide my face. But she needs to come home now.
Yes.
Someone needs to do the right thing.
Yeah. Somebody knows.
We are in agony. We are in agony. It is unbearable. And to think of what she went through. I wake up every night, in the middle of the night, every night. And in the darkness, I imagine her terror. And it is unthinkable.
Yeah.
But those thoughts demand to be thought. And I will not hide my face. But she needs to come home now.
Yes.
Someone needs to.
Ooh, this is rough, man. This is rough. I don't know. You said she won't be laid to rest. Yeah, I mean, it just you can't even like. How do you? I just wouldn't be able to put a conclusion. I would want to know. Like I said, it's different when you know how someone dies. You could bury them. You could do, pay your respects to them. But when you don't know how a loved one dies, it's like it's agonizing, man. I bet you she does, Darcy. I bet you she does, honestly. So I wouldn't wish any of this to anybody. And there's a lot of people going through this. It's the no closure, not knowing. That's tormenting. And people say, well, time heals. It's a little bit different when you don't know what happened. It's a little bit different when you don't know what happened, or, to lay somebody to rest. And the way that it happened, nobody deserves this, y'all. Nobody, you know. Whew. So we're going to be following up. I mean, we'll definitely talk about this interview and whatnot. And kind of review it from there. I think that it's important, but I also think that it should be a reminder to all of us about how many people do also, they don't get this kind of exposure, and we need to do better about that. It's kind of hard because it's like, well, where does our attention go when things like this is happening? But it's important. We do need to pay attention because there's a lot of missing kids out there that don't get this attention at all. All right, y'all. Sorry. That's rough. That's rough. And to have to transition to the next topic. Oh my goodness. Sorry, y'all. You said, I think that's why I'd be tearing everything down, the not knowing the no answers. Yeah. It must be rough. And then you also have to play nice with this damn sheriff too. That's the thing too. It's like you have to play nice with this sheriff. Hey, Joe, how are you? Honestly, it's heartbreaking to think of your elderly mother being harmed like that and you can't find her right. Absolutely. They can't even, for insurance purposes, they may have to declare her gone even without answers. Yeah. And I think like some of the stuff we were even talking about that, right? Depending on who is managing what, they might have to do that. Yeah. He says, why are you making us cry, Rabbit? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. See? We'll be all right. We'll be all right, guys. We gonna be all right. We just gonna, we have to keep. Hopefully she'll get answers. And that's the thing, is somebody knows something. And we have to go to a place where, for me, it's like I'm always gonna hold hope that if she's no longer here, then at the very least she'll get the answers that she wants. Is that, is that gonna be okay? Probably not. Probably not. All right. So we're going to move on to a different topic. Now, this different topic, of course, it was by demand. And I've been talking about this here and there. I haven't really, there's other channels, shout out to them, that really, really dug into the weeds of the JLR and Magnolia topic, right? And like, to me, it's like, I sit here and I'm listening to kind of people's commentary and stuff like that. And I mean, it's very interesting when people who haven't really been following a lot of the true crime YouTubers and stuff like that wouldn't really know, all the ins and outs of certain individuals here, because some of it is always kind of like we kind of knew, we've been knowing, or we knew that because some certain profiles are definitely out there about said individuals. So I want to talk about this I guess 911 call that has been circulating pertaining to JLR investigates and Magnolia. Now, for those that are like, well, what? Hold up. For those that are like, what's going on? So, give you a quick little breakdown. Earlier, I believe it was it the 19th or the 20th? I think it was the 19th this month. there were some creators here on YouTube. I think the first one that I heard was White Boy Radio. Shout out to him. And then Nerdy Attic. Okay, Nerdy Attic. I feel like I follow him mainly on, well, I do follow him mainly on Twitter. I don't really know about, I've been trying to look for a YouTube channel and I haven't been able to find one. But anyways, shout out to them. So there was a report that was put out there, and these two individuals were the first ones to kind of talk about it, and essentially saying that there was a domestic violence incident between JLR Investigates and a woman that has helped his platform. I believe she was like a producer by the name of Magnolia. And there were some documents that were circulating. Now, all this time since February, since we're on Nancy Guthrie, JLR has been out there covering, a lot of us, myself included, we've used a lot of his content to kind of give commentary about what's going on. And he's kind of been on it. You know, there's been a lot of controversy out there too with his presence there, because he has held well over, yeah, he's the one. He's one of the ones. He is, at one point, I think in February, he had close to like 89,000 viewers out there in the light. Like they were watching. I mean, we're watching every single step of this situation, right? Everything. And so when this hit, of course, it took a lot of people by surprise, people that don't know JLR's past, because he does have a past and he's talked about it. I mean, between the wire fraud and, I mean, he served 10 years in federal prison. You know, he's done some stuff that is like, come on now. Like some of the stuff is like, why would you do that? You know, between the Sandy Hook victims, he's had a lot of, you know, lawsuits out there. He's very litigious. So everything that you say needs to be completely factual. You cannot, and you know, so when somebody is like that and they'll sue you if you're lying, you know, okay, you can speak on it as long as everything is factual, right? So when this hit about there being a DV incident, so much so that the woman by the name of Magnolia, her nose was, at the time the officer said, believed to be broken. There was black. I mean, there's pictures, there's all kinds of things, right? And so a lot of us were like, well, he's never really had like DV charges in his past, because he hasn't. And what's interesting is like Belen, my supporter, said, you know, most people, maybe this is how he gets down, but most people don't report it. And this incident didn't happen like years ago. It literally happened at the end of December. So we're literally talking about 3 or 4 months, you know? Something to kind of keep in mind, that it's like, wait a minute, it's so short to the time frame. So what I had said to you guys, I said, guys, yeah, 3 years together. And the reason why a lot of us knew about their relationship is because, you know, she's helped them in the platform. She's appeared. She's known as a producer, and she's a gorgeous girl, you know, too. Like, you know, she's got this thing about her. There was also some like drama between his previous girlfriend and when they first got together, Magnolia and JLR. And I know this because, you know, the lady, she was very upset about it. So she has since spoken out. I don't say the lady's name because, girl, it's just too much. It's too much drama. Every once in a while I'll say it, but I just too much drama for too much for me. Okay. Yeah, the lady found out about the DV incident and basically did a video and said that she deserved to get all this, the work. She deserved, you know, because, you know, she took her man. And I was like, I saw that was her reaction. That was the ex. I said, "What? She deserved to get her nose broken? And she deserved to." You said nobody can wreck their home but themselves. Well, I didn't even know they were like they never really made their relationship public before Magnolia. So that's why I never really knew. I found out about it till like when he got with Magnolia. So you know, I'll be asking these people, you know, y'all be, you know, let me tell you something. This is what I learned. Okay. If any YouTubers out here in the chat, if you're a content creator, don't shit where you eat. Okay. I don't be shitting where I eat. You know what I mean? Like, don't shit where you eat, okay? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like, there's a lot of, fish out in the sea that aren't YouTubers, and you kind of avoid that situationship. People tend to date. I mean, people date at work all the time. Don't get me wrong. But one thing I learned, especially, I just don't shit where I eat. I really don't. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Flojo. Flojo, don't shit where you eat. I'm just saying. You said she didn't say she deserved it. She stated she got the nose job she wanted. I don't think it's the same, but it's still a messed up statement. So Magnolia wanted a nose job sandwich? Just such a weird time to say something like that. You know what I mean? Anyways, so we're gonna get into this a little bit more. People had asked me, "Can you get into the documents? Can you get into it?" And I feel like I don't know how much highlight we can do on this, but shout out to Plunder who put out the 911 call. Okay, let's get into this.
Hi. Hold on one second. Let me look.
See if I can put the closed captions. Oh, she put a script for us. Good.
Are you still there?
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. What's the location?
Okay, it's All Seasons River Inn.
Is there?
And it's 8751 Icicle Road.
Thank you very much for that. Is there a specific unit number?
It's the Shenandoah room.
Which one's that one?
Well, it's not a number. It's like a little Airbnb with a few different units, and mine is called the Shenandoah.
Okay.
You just go in the front door and then come up the stairs.
What's going on?
Well, I had a fight with my boyfriend last night, and he hurt me and left and took my phone. And I don't know where he is, so I'm stuck here.
What did he do?
What's that?
You said he hurt you? What did he do?
Yes, my nose. He hit me, and my nose is hurt.
Is it actively bleeding right now?
It was bleeding earlier. This happened last night, and then he left, and I went to bed. And now I don't know where he is, and he took my phone. So this is his phone that I'm calling you from. He has two phones, and this is his second phone.
Okay, well,
last year, so I'm calling you on that phone.
That's fine. Let me have someone contact you there. What is your name?
Jamie, Jaime.
Jamie, what's your last name?
Phillips, Phillips.
And what's your date of birth, Jamie?
11/1/76. I'm sorry for calling 911. I didn't know what to call.
This is perfect. This is what you needed to call. What is his name?
Well, I don't know anyone around here. Like, we live in Florida, so we're just here for Christmas. And so I don't have a car and I don't have a phone. All I know is I'm stuck here now against my will. Basically, this is kidnapping, if you ask me.
Jamie, let me get some more information from you, and I have someone contact you. What is his name?
His name?
Yeah.
Jonathan.
What's his last name?
Riches. His last name is Riches, Riches. Date of birth, 12/27/76.
And what kind of vehicle did he leave in?
He's in a white Jeep Compass, and I don't know the tag number because it's a rental car. We got it from Seattle Airport on Monday.
Any idea where he'd go?
What's that?
Any idea where he would go?
Well, I tried texting him and telling him to bring my phone back, and he said he started denying that he even took my phone at all. And then he said, I don't want your phone. I'm taking it to the sheriff's department. And I said, I need my phone. Bring my phone back. And he was like, well, you stole my phone. And I was like, no, you left your phone here. And anyway, so he started saying that he doesn't want my phone. I don't want your phone. And he was like, I'm 100 miles away from you now. So I honestly don't know where he is. He said, I'm 100 miles away from you now.
Well, I will have someone contact you a little bit. Would you also like an ambulance to look at your nose?
What's that?
Would you like an ambulance, medical attention for your nose?
Yeah, I think I need to get it looked at.
Okay.
So let me tell you guys something. What happens sometimes when you're hit, especially on the face. We talked about this a couple times when, like when you break a bone, and sometimes your body goes into a state of shock. So you may not feel the pain, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It's just that your body's in a state of shock. It's a way in which your body kind of deals with the trauma that has happened to it. So, this is kind of like a body in its own coping mechanism. Like you're not, sometimes it depends on kind of the level of pain and where you're at. Your body does shut down certain aspects. So the person may not feel in pain, but there is a level of shock that happens. So I wouldn't necessarily say that just because she didn't cry or she didn't, that's not pain. No, you just don't know how your brain works. That, like, it's a true thing. Your body, when you are hit, I've seen it happen a couple of times. Like my oldest broke his wrist in 2 places, and he stopped crying. And it wasn't that he wasn't in pain. It's just that it's how your body's dealing with the pain and the recovery of it in that moment when it happens to you. So I know people are saying, well, I would be crying. Why isn't she crying? I wouldn't take that as somebody who has not been harmed, if that makes sense.
I'll have someone contact you in a little bit. I'm going to go and let you go. If something changes, Jamie, if he shows back up, you need to call 911 immediately, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you go. You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, shout out to Plunder. This is one of the calls that they put out there. Yeah. I mean, she has lied in the past. I think that that's kind of been documented. I believe it was a senator and stuff like that. But I'm not going to punish somebody if we're not able to punish JLRs. This is the part that I was throwing out there. I said, wait a minute, you got somebody who spent 10 years in federal prison, and then this woman who lied in 2017. You tell me who's a documented liar? Like, what do you mean? Like, you kind of have a situation where you have 2 people that have had sketchiness in their past. But I personally, given the fact that she has had reconstructive surgery because of her nose, I'm just saying, like, the obvious is there for me. Now, am I a fan of, I don't know them too well in terms of what has happened. Now, again, people are asking me, well, what did the ex say and everything? I mean, she is entitled to her opinion.
To the statements that were just brought up by JLR. Apparently, I don't know how he got this. I don't know if he called them, if they called him, if they just wanted to share some information with Jonathan. But according to his statements on his live last night, it appears that one of the gun shop owners reached out to JLR to give him some of the 40 names that they were looking
Oh my God, hold up.
or looking at. Now, happy Monday.
Sorry, this is one of the this is, she's not talking about the situation, but there have been some clips out there that have, like, they've been calling her out
At him. And I'm saying that
this is back when they were breaking up. that's her experience.
I don't want to address the drama going on YouTube right now. I really don't. I'm going to make one statement and only one statement on this show. First of all, I'm not running anything that does anything with Magnolia, PJ, Dolly, or JLR. Okay, first and foremost, we're not going to do that on here. It's not our problem. Okay. Domestic violence is a real thing. I get that. And this is all I'm going to say. You guys know my contention with JLR. It's been there. I was very public with that at a certain point, and I was fearful for what would happen to the channel, and that's why I kind of came public with some of the stuff. I will tell you that out of all the problems that JLR and I have had in our history, that man has never raised a hand to me. I've never come up here and say he ever raised a hand to me. We've been through ups and downs and a lot for a lot of years, and you guys know I'm not going to rehash those things. And
I don't think it, to her credit, I don't think that she would cover up for him, if that makes sense. But the thing is that she's also not the kind, like, she doesn't take me as somebody that would take shit from anyone. You know what I mean? That's just my impression, at least the interactions that I've seen and stuff like that. She's just kind of very to your face and wouldn't take shit from anyone. So I think that maybe she hasn't experienced it. Have others? Maybe. I don't know. But there's that.
I'm not coming to bat to a person that's hurt me, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit around and allow this to get legs and start moving about. You know, at the end of the day, I do have personal experience with Jonathan Lee Riches. I did have arguments and heated discussions with that man, and I can honestly tell you where I sit right now out of all those heated discussions. And I'm a screamer. Okay, when I get mad, I scream. Okay, and sometimes my squeals and squeals can sound like freaking, you know, fingernails on a chalkboard. But at the end of the day, that man has never put his hands on me. I'm not going to sit up here and lie about something that has happened. Now, what I will say is the reason why I'm not coming up is because I'm not going to, why in the hell, and I'm going to tell you guys this, would PJ be trying to get me this information? They thought I was just going to roll with it and do anything to destroy Jonathan. And while I would love nothing more than Jonathan to have some just desserts for some of his behavior, I'm not going to sit here and believe something that I don't believe to be true, okay? I don't know what happened. Did it go too far? I don't know. I wasn't there. And neither were any of you. So I think the court systems need to deal with this. I don't know what's going on. I can tell you that this has upset me very much. I've cried over this situation, and it's not even my situation to cry over, but I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want it on my channel, okay? I'm not getting involved in this. I'm not getting involved in any of it. If you guys want to be involved and you guys want to spread around some stuff, you guys can. But I can tell you that somebody went out of their way to try to get me this paperwork. And I have to think that this is a hit piece more than you know, worried about their own, you know, well-being, okay? And moreover, I just want to remind everybody, go look at that woman's hashtags or her name. She still has JLR all in her name. I don't want to hear it. Okay. If a man made me so fearful of my safety and threatened to kill me, I still wouldn't be dragging his name around behind mine. I'm just saying. So you guys feel however type of way you will feel.
I think that it took her a minute to erase that and log off. It said, BS, there's videos of the past of y'all going toe to toe. There are a lot of videos out there, but I think that, you know, she doesn't want to speak on that. That's on her. People change too, especially if they aren't facing their own trauma. Like how many people I didn't expect that from, and is a serial killer, right, Jazzy? I agree. You said Roseanne Barr. How ironic, because she's the DV. Yeah, I think she's got. Does she have her own situationships too? I mean, that's on her. I just, like I said, you know, you can't make people speak on things that they don't want to, but at the same time, if you're not going to make you should probably not even, I guess people wanted her to say something and whatnot, which, you know, I'm like, why? To talk on her experience. Now, hold up. Let me see if I can pull another video that I saw yesterday, and I didn't see anybody else. Hold up. 3 years ago, 4 years. Okay, this is like too far off. Okay. This is an interesting video, and I saw it on this channel that I was like, oh shit. Shout out to EMZ Beloved. She's the one that I saw it on. Let me show it to you.
Not only that, but I have nothing to do with the person. I just refuse to say what they want me to say, so they want to club me over the head. Okay, I'm not going to comply. I'm not going to say what they want me to say. And at the end of the day, I'm going to keep saying here. And you guys can keep making videos about it. I don't care. Okay? You can call me and say you hate me, don't like me, nothing. I don't care. I don't care about that lady. I don't care what happens to that lady. I don't have to care. She certainly didn't care when she was doing her all around fuck shit with me. She didn't care how much pain she caused me. She didn't care what I was going through. As a matter of fact, she contributed to what I was going through. I hate that woman. I could care less if she wore 2 black eyes. Okay? I don't care. And people are like, oh my God, Betty's so...
Wait, she said she didn't care if she had 2 black eyes. Did I hear that correctly? Hold up. I'm gonna see if I can pull the transcript, because I don't want to put words in her mouth. You know, this is her words. She said she don't care if she got 2 black eyes. Said, what I was going through. As a matter of fact, she contributed to what I was going through. I hate that woman. I could care less if she wore 2 black eyes. I don't care. And people like her are like, oh my God, Betty, she's so mean. Okay, hold up.
Didn't care what I was going through. As a matter of fact, she contributed to what I was going through. I hate that woman. I could care less if she wore 2 black eyes. Okay? I don't care. And people are like, oh my God, Betty's so mean. Well, you guys should have been speaking to her about what she was doing to me instead of coming over here after all she's done to me and expect to have sympathy for a freaking raggedy ass bitch that likes to steal other women's men. She got what she deserved.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yes. Um, okay. Let me play devil's advocate. Y'all go next. Okay, let me play devil's advocate. Should she have to care? And if she doesn't care, then why even make a comment about it? Like, should she have to care? And if she does, like, why even make a comment about it? You know, people tag me on stuff all the time. I don't want to address it. I don't have to address it, right? It's like completely up to me. No, but I hear what you're saying. Okay, positivity time says I have to agree with her. If it was my ex that left me for another woman, I would give a poop. Maybe she didn't experience the DV, you know, and that's why she's letting everybody know I didn't experience it. I didn't experience it. And I mean, that's why she's like, I don't care. So should she have to care? That's the question. Should she have to care? Now, the other side to this too is if you don't care, how are you expected to go out there and advocate for Gabby Petito, who is also, I mean, they both went together to go advocate for Gabby Petito, right? Thoughts, opinion? I think it's a conversation to have. I am kind of turning it the other way. Like I'm trying to understand this other side. If I don't care, I'm not addressing it. I don't even care how many people are trolling in my chat. You know, I would just leave it alone. That's what I would do if I was her. You know, like I don't care, but I wouldn't have said all this other thing because at the end of the day, you know, you have this what is it? This umbrella of like going out there and advocating for people who can't speak for themselves, like Gabby Petito, right? I mean, that in itself was a whole DV situation. So,
And if you don't like it, don't play stupid games. I say it like it is. Guess what? If she never fucked around with a man that was taken, she wouldn't have a black eye or this case. And that is a damn fact.
did she really just put the applause on? She really just put the Oh my God.
Get fit with your bullshit. I will not comply. You can hate me, you can drag me, you can do whatever, and I'll still stand on my platform and say the same damn thing. I don't care. I don't care for her. She certainly didn't care what she was doing to me for years. Just desserts, bitch. Just desserts. Now, all of you
Ooh, man. She said, but like that was the most tackiest thing you Girl, did she really just like she made sure she pushed that button. Woo! I don't know what to think at this, but she really Listen, if nobody's gonna cheerlead for me, I'm gonna make sure that I applaud. Okay. Every yeah. No, you clutching your invisible pearls because she No. You don't have to cheerlead for me. Thank you. Not just once, but twice. Listen, that it's like then why even address it? You don't have to.
assholes can go make 5,000 videos about me, and guess what it's going to do? Absolutely nothing to the way I feel about the situation. And for you guys to sit there and say Jonathan because I refuse to comply is bullshit. I haven't talked to that man in 3 blessed years, or almost 3 blessed years.
I mean, she has addressed him publicly. There's been streams out there, so I don't know.
So you can take that to the bank. But when I sit up here and speak truth, I speak truth whether you like it or not.
Oh my God.
They're not getting the best of me, but something needs to be said because I'm sick of the freaking drama and I'm sick of the freaking bullshit rumors. These people have never known what the hell they've been talking about. When I was dating Jonathan, they said I wasn't dating Jonathan. Now that I'm not dating Jonathan, they're trying to say I'm dating Jonathan. Get your shit together because at the end of the day, all these years, you guys have been so wrong about everything. And you sit up there and you think you're so right because you don't do a damn thing but sit there and bitch, moan, and groan and make up shit. And I'm sick and tired of it. Get bent, get the fuck out of my chat. I'm done with the conversation. And I don't give a shit whether Magnolia had a broken nose, a black eye, or whether she face planted in a cacti. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
And I'm not going to. And you're not going to berate me, beat me, or anything else into submission to giving a shit about her. I don't care. Now we're done.
All right. Hold on. Let me do this. Hold up, y'all. I have to do this. Look, I may not necessarily agree. I don't, but she's entitled to her opinion. She's entitled to say, I don't care. She doesn't have to care, y'all. And I mean, she is the ex, you know what I mean? So she's going to feel some type of way. However, I'm not part of that relationship, however it ended. Okay. But I mean, she's entitled to it. All right. You can't make somebody care that does not care. And ultimately, why should if she didn't go through any kind of DV thing, why should her opinion matter? Like I said, I'm not a fan, but you know, she has her own experience. Say more about how you don't care. Right. No, I not only that, but then also end it with, because if nobody's going to cheerlead for her, she's going to do it. That's right. Anyways, like I said, no, I mean, no shade. That she's entitled to her opinion. I think it's okay for her to have it. I may not agree with it, but we can't force people to care about things or people that they don't want to. We just can't. All right, we can't. You said, yeah, I mean, it was, but she gonna have to sit on that. And so then the next time she decides to cover a true crime case about DVs and victims and stuff like that, I mean, just pay attention to the semantics, right? That is her experience with this situation. And like I said, when that situation opened up, when that relationship had ended, I mean, it was very public, and it was made public. I think it was made public by her because, you know, she was worried about, I do remember some of the channel stuff, the things that were happening and whatnot. I think she's entitled to her opinion, you know? That's just how I see it. Thank you, Infamous. I just got your Cash App, love. Thank you, Infamous. Oh, sending you good vibes from my family to yours. Thank you, love. Shout out to you, Infamous. She's entitled. I may not agree with her. I may not like the lady, but she's entitled to her opinion. All right. So when we get into this, you know, report, and again, this is from December 25th. We're only going to read some of it because we're almost out of time, and I don't want to. We might do a part 2 on this. Okay. Chili's. Y'all remember the Chili's? Damn, I forgot about Chili's. Anyways, I did laugh about that because that shit was funny. The baby back ribs. Let me stop. Okay, the following report is a summary of the incident which occurred to my recollection. The report also serves as a summary of my involvement and understanding of the said incident. Furthermore, portions of the involved were recorded by audio and video by the department. On December 25th, 2025, at approximately 10:21 hours, I, Deputy K. Tally, was working uniform patrol, driving marked vehicle. Okay, so he's driving. The victim reporting party identified herself as, we're going to call her Magnolia. And she told dispatch and received an injury to her nose from a fight last night with her boyfriend, Jonathan Riches. Okay. And also informed Jonathan that had taken Magnolia's phone and left last night. So she was left in a hotel, right? Took her phone and everything. And she had like no way of like contacting people. She was at a hotel. One of my thoughts was like, well, I wonder if she had let the hotel know what was going on. You know, so that they could also like inform 911 and everything about what's happening. That was my thought. Okay. But, you know, I wasn't there, so it's kind of hard to say. It further goes. You said, hold up. Hold up, y'all. This chat is horrible. Let's see. I don't know. It further goes. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. I got distracted. I arrived at the location, was contacted by Magnolia in the front front interest. I could visibly see bruising around Magnolia's right eye, consistent with having been in the early stages of a black eye. I could also see a small red mark on the upper right corner of the bridge of Magnolia's nose. Her nose was visibly not straight and resemble what I would observe through training and experience to be broken. Okay, so that was the officer who called it broken initially. And like I said, even though she's not crying out in pain, your body goes into shock when it's trying to heal or deal with the impact of what has happened. And you're talking about a situation like he left. So she was sitting there with this nose. So keep that in mind, right? It further goes. Let's see. I could see a red mark. We read that part. Magnolia requested we all speak in the room where her belongings were, which is the Shenandoah room at this location upstairs. Okay. Magnolia advised sometime between 2300-000 hours last night. She had confronted Jonathan about things she observed on his work phone. Magnolia stated that it was things like communication with other women and that she described to be prawn. Okay. Magnolia stated when she addressed this with Jonathan, he became enraged and struck her with a closed fist multiple times on the side of her head, her nose, and her ribs. Magnolia stated she grabbed her phone and began to dial 911 for help, but Jonathan saw her doing this and took her phone from her and said, "I will effing kill you." Okay, if she tried calling 911, I bet you anything would pull that. Did the 911 call go through? I asked Magnolia if she believed this threat to be true. She stated she believed he would K her. Magnolia stated that she believed at some point she lost consciousness after the assault, which does happen. If you're dealing with shock. But she remembered that Jonathan grabbed her 2 bags, his personal cell phone, Magnolia's phone, and then leaving. I asked Magnolia what phone she currently had, and she stated it was Jonathan's work phone and that he left behind. Magnolia stated that he did not know where he went, but believed he may have taken the white Jeep Compass they rented. I observed a white Jeep Compass to be parked outside prior to making contact with Magnolia. I asked Magnolia if she would be willing to have her injuries be photographed and documented. Magnolia agreed. Due to most of the medics on scene and myself to be male, and one of the areas of the injuries requiring Magnolia to lift her shirt, I asked a female medic if she would be willing to take a photo of Magnolia's injuries with my department's issued cell phone in the bathroom of the hotel room, to which she agreed and completed. These photos will be uploaded for evidence. Okay. Upon completion of documenting the injuries, Magnolia was transported to the Cascade Medical Center for evaluation. I requested Rivercon to put an ATL on Jonathan. I responded to the Cascade medics and met Magnolia in the emergency room 3. I asked Magnolia if she would be willing to complete a medical release form for documentation of injuries received from the assault. Magnolia agreed, and the medical release form was complete and signed and provided to by the medical facility staff. Magnolia stated Jonathan had been texting the work phone, knowing he left it behind. He told Magnolia he was 100 miles away from her and in the middle of nowhere. Magnolia could not confirm the Jeep Compass still parked at the hotel where was their rental, but due to it being the one there and all the other guest vehicles accounted for, this was most likely the vehicle. Magnolia believed Jonathan to be most likely still in the area, and their flight leaves tomorrow, which would require them to travel back to Seattle and return the vehicle to SeaTac where it was rented. I was also advised by Magnolia that in August of this year, she was on a work trip with Jonathan in Charlotte. This was when she first found out about his infidelity and prawn issues. She stated she confronted him and he attacked her in the hotel when they were staying there. Magnolia stated that it was similar to this. He assaulted her violently and then took her rental car and drove back to Florida where they lived. Magnolia stated there is a long history of Jonathan assaulting her in their almost 3-year dating relationship. I don't think they've been together for 3 years. I think the time frame is almost 3 years. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hold up, I gotta get a drink. Yeah, we welcome differences of opinion. I just want to tell y'all, like, just put some substance into some of the things that you're saying. If you don't agree, if you feel like that this is a setup, okay, then tell me why you believe she broke her own nose. Yeah, they do, Carly. They do. That they do. I may not agree with her, but that's her experience. She's mad at the lady. She feels like she intervened in that relationship and she's allowed to that, opinion. But do I agree with the shit that she says? No, absolutely not. Like, what do you do? Especially if you're advocating for victims. Absolutely not. But she's entitled to that opinion. But we shall see. You said both men and women are crazy. Yeah, both men and women can be victims as well, right? We could say that. I've seen that happen in both ways. It further says, she stated that she knows she should have left many times before this, but hasn't. Magnolia stated Jonathan needs to be held accountable for what he did. After Jamie was discharged from the medical center, I was provided a copy of the medical documents for this visit, and I provided Jamie with a courtesy ride back to her hotel. Deputy and I searched the room prior to Jamie going back into it. The on-site manager was contacted, who changed the security code combination for the front door and for the room Magnolia was staying in. It should be noted that the white Jeep Compass bearing the WA registration that was observed earlier was confirmed to be another guest rental vehicle and was not involved. Oh, so he really did take the Jeep. I have probable cause to arrest Jonathan Lee Bridges for the violation. Okay, so they had enough between assault in the second degree, DV, harassment, threats to K, DV, and interfering with the reporting of a DV situation. I received a text message from Magnolia, my department issued cell phone, and she canceled her original flight and booked a flight with a different airline and boarded without issues. Okay, that was the 26th, 27th. I received a text from Magnolia on my department issued cell phone, and she was finally able to track JLR's location. She was traveling through North Dakota, and it is not known at this time if he is driving back to Florida or to a different location. Okay, it's a couple typos to this report. Some of the questions that they asked: domestic violence, yes. Probable cause, yes. The forms, yes. Just some of the basic stuff. They put JLR's information and the victim's information and everything, and the law enforcement. So there's a picture of the vehicle there that's redacted. All this is redacted. Okay, now let's go back to shout out to Nerdy Addict, who put these reports out there for us. Now the one that we read was the 19th. And let's see, do they have anything? Oh my Lord. It's a lot of ads, so I apologize. To the website. This is the 21st. Preliminary injunction. Temporary restraining order. So, what is this? Oh, this is 2013. Wait a minute. Naomi Riches. Is this an injunctive temporary restraint against JLR in 2013? So he does have a history? Naomi Riches. I in need of a preliminary injunction for my husband who's been using the court system to harass me. I've been afforded label under the psychiatry with new legal research and statutory provisions, it has come to my attention how damaging psychiatry can be. Jonathan Lee Rich is a very dangerous individual who knows the law. He's aware of his labeling. He studied law for 9 years while he was incarcerated at a federal medical center. I asked Jonathan Lee, have nothing to do with my treatment options and respects to psychiatry. He's unstable, attaches documentation. Oh my God, giving false testimony against me in the court of law. He's associated with a very large network of people scattered across the United States and have been involved in giving false testimony to the court. This is 2013. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is a protection order from 2013. See, and here I'm saying I didn't see any history of, I mean, I didn't up until now. Wow. Lord have mercy. You can't make this shit up. It is deep. Yeah, but they don't do background checks. That's the thing. He said he knew who to play with and the people would question his story because of her history. I believe her. He had Naomi committed. He had the wife committed. I have no idea. He had the wife committed. No idea. Wow. But the thing is like, and this is a real thing because people have said, well, he'll do this and he'll do that, you know, and I hear people on that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if what you're saying is you're not being malicious about the information that you're putting out there, you're putting out the facts, you know, that's what's happening. You're putting out the facts. You know what I mean? So it's like for people to get upset or people feel like somebody came into my chat and said, well, there's two sides to every story. What side is that? Did she break her own nose? Like, when people say that, I'm like, huh? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Oh my God. Girl. So he had his wife committed. And so then the court got involved. They put a protection order to ensure that it wasn't going to happen. So what part is a lie? You said another channel has the FOIA. We need to get the information too. You can't, like, wow. Hold up. Let me read some of these super chats. Thank you again, Bridie Moon Becca, for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Infamous. Thank you for the 5 abusers often use impression management to appear charming, helpful, and kind in public. 1 of 2. Thank you so much, Infamous. Infamous, this creates a perfect neighbor image that makes it harder for victims to be believed if they eventually seek help. Yeah, he did that. Thank you so much, Infamous. The lawsuit to his mother is a real thing. So, damn. I mean, where's the lie? Okay, now I did see. Shout out to Plunder. I did see. Hold up. Audio.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, there was a video where I was like watching and I couldn't understand it because the audio was like horrible. But I'm gonna see if I do have Plunder on Patreon, so I'm gonna see if I'm able to. I don't know if she minds that, we use that.
Like to read your agreement into the record. So they're just reading their
So here they're doing the transcript read, I think.
Courtroom. I can't imagine. Imagine you date a guy for 3 years. According to Jamie, he's mistreated her. All these bad things have happened. Everything kind of explodes on Christmas Day. JLR beats it out of there, beats those charges for now. I'm thinking about Jay-Z, his line, somehow I beat those charges like Rocky. Will JLR be charged with?
Somehow. She put it. Sorry, that made me laugh. I'm thinking about the Jay-Z, somehow I beat those charges like Rocky.
Assault or, we heard on the dispatch threats to kill, all this stuff. Both lawyers were present with each person, Magnolia and JLR. All right, would you like to read your agreement into the record? So they're just reading their agreement between the two of them through their attorneys, this no contact order they both agreed to. But there's an issue of a car and there's an issue of some kind of property they're going to talk about. So the lawyer says, yes, Your Honor, based upon the order of protection, clients have agreed to a 3-year, find my notes here, Your Honor. I apologize. That's literally what it says. To a 3-year no contact order against both parties. We will be asking for a car back for the parties to dispose of their personal property, which will be taken, which will be held through attorneys, Your Honor. Now, they don't go into any details. I mean, obviously, the car they were talking about, that Jeep Compass out in Washington State, we know that was a rental. That was a rental they were going to return to SeaTac, but I don't know if they actually returned it. It was a Hertz car. Is that the car that JLR took off with? And was he driving through the Dakotas, when he was 100 miles away in the middle of nowhere, as it said on the dispatch? And it doesn't quite detail which attorney is speaking. Is it JLR's car? We don't get a make, model, any kind of description. Is it JLR's car? And did Magnolia have her property in his car, personal property, which it says for the parties to dispose of their personal property? Did someone leave their stuff in a car and they wanted to destroy it? Whatever. So the court says, okay. Counsel says, I think that's about it. And then the judge says, okay, I'm continuing this to April 21st. And then just make sure you have that done before that date so that you don't have to appear. So who wouldn't have to appear? That's kind of weird. I wonder. Sometimes I know the parties don't have to appear. Sometimes the lawyers, based on certain cases, they're able to hash it out, themselves. We don't get many details. Of course, we know the April 21st date was the next date. But imagine coming into town, both of them. Well, I'm assuming Jamie lives in Arkansas somewhere, but imagine coming into town for a basically 2-minute hearing, probably lasting only a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm continuing this to April 21st, and then just make sure you have that done before that date so that you don't have to appear. Yes, Your Honor. One of the counsel says, it doesn't say which lawyer. The judge says, all right, you may be excused. And counsel says, thank you, Your Honor. I was expecting that hearing to be pretty short, but I didn't know it would be that short. And as this case unfurls, oh my goodness, people are finding out stuff. I see other creators talking about JLR's ex-wife. I was able to look her up. Naomi Leatherman was her name before she married Jonathan Lee Riches in late 2012. According to the Unionville Times, it was a short marriage. I didn't even know he was ever married, with both parties seeking protection from abuse.
Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea.
Orders against each other by January 2013, alleging the other was dangerous. So they got married, I guess, in late 2012. And already by January 2013, they were ready to, leave the marriage, calling each other dangerous, seeking protection from abuse orders against each other. So, wow, we'll probably learn more about that. I did notice when I was looking for Naomi Riches, I saw she has a bunch of lawsuits, not as many as Jonathan, but she has lawsuits, for example, filed against Beyonce and other people. I'll throw it up on the screen. These people that Naomi has sued as well. Stay tuned. I plan to give you so much more about this.
Wow. I didn't know he was married either. I had no idea. This is the first time I find out too. But Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, they suing everybody. You said, hold up, who is financially responsible for that rental? That's the question. Who paid for that rental? I mean, he's making, like I said, he's made a lot of money. You said they're both very litigious. Yeah, they are. That's what it sounds like. But it does make you wonder, well, what happened what happened in the past with that situation. And I'm not saying that, like I said, who knows? But for whatever reason, things got what's the word? They I don't know, man. They just you said this is better than a telenovela. I know. She's got a very calming personality. Yeah. You said none of them are keeping it classy. Well, but it's just like I don't know. That's crazy work. Okay, I was able to find her Patreon because I'm gonna see about downloading the documents.
This case, because it's obviously growing legs. More people will probably pick it up beyond the New York Post. I'm sure mainstream media is just waiting potentially for that next April 21st hearing to see what comes of that, as more evidence comes out. Before I let you listen to what I hope is better audio, I will read Isaiah 60:20. Your sun will never set again, and your moon will wane no more. The Lord will be your everlasting light, and your days of sorrow will end. Well, I thought about that verse, maybe giving Magnolia hope for any woman who's been through or man who's been through an abusive time, a hard time, and knowing things will get better. Bravery, truth helps. Whatever the truth is, we still don't know what that truth is, but coming out and telling your story, being brave, facing the person. Jamie says she feared for her life. So facing him in court had to be daunting. She claims there was threats, ongoing threats, don't disclose this, don't come out. We still don't know all the truth. I get it. I get it. But we are learning more. So again, I hope this sounds better. I've been Geminiing it and chat GPTing it and on the treadmill 3 miles today. I was up at 3 a.m. I don't want to be up till 3 a.m. tonight. So I want to get this edited, get it up. What's to follow is what I put up last night, or rather this morning at 3 a.m. I was so angry that the audio was muffled. So
yeah, the audio was pretty bad on her video, but shout out to her. Y'all go check her out. I mean, I just think that it's like, the biggest thing is that she's got a Mama Llama, thank you so much for the Cash App. I just got it. Sorry, I'm looking at it now. Sorry about that. She's got to be we don't know the relationship. We don't know the story. We don't know the ins and outs of that. We really don't. We think we do. We think we understand what's going on, but we really don't. This is at the end of the day their personal life. And this is the stuff that they've been dealing with. You know what I mean? So it's like it's kind of hard. It's one of those situations where it's like it is playing out publicly. These are two individuals that, I mean, especially JLR has had this huge background on his past. You know what I mean? And people have praised him, and myself included. Like, if you changed your life and you're doing different things and you're paying things forward and everything, that's great. But it's kind of hard to like sit on that when this has happened again. And then, I mean, I've said it before. He has to have known that all of this was gonna be revealed. Yet, this was gonna come about. You're covering like the highest, what is it called? The most. I'm trying to pay for something. I'm trying to pay for her Patreon. Give me 1 second. You're covering the most highly covered case right now. You're out there. You got 85,000 people watching you. Like, people are going to they're going to want to know what's going on with you. What's the deal? That's what they're going to want to do, right? So he had to have known that this was happening. I mean, he had to have known. That's what they're saying, that he tried to have his ex-wife, committed. That's what they're saying. Did it not go through or what? Hold up, y'all. Why? Give me 1 second. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. 1 second. I'm going to see if I can pull these documents. Your card. Okay. See, I'm like locking this. What happens when I have things locked up? I forget that I have them locked up. Anyways, people are going to pull stuff. They're going to want to know about you. That's what they do. They always want to pull things, and you kind of have to be prepared for that, right? And I don't know, man. He should have been prepared, I guess. Thoughts? Opinions? But if he has it's a high profile case. It is. You say he didn't change his life. Look at all the BS done. That stunt that he pulled with what's SH? I know I always forget to unlock my card, and then when I'm like gonna go pay, it's like decline. Wait, I forgot to unlock it. I love that feature, but I forget to unlock it. And thank you, Mama Llama, for that Cash App. Appreciate it. You said so he wanted to get paid before it comes out. He's gonna get paid regardless. I mean, that's not gonna stop his check. And like I said, he has supporters. People are gonna support who and what he does. That's just what they're gonna do, But to me, it's like, he's got this history in the background. I think he's considered for the purposes of this, and when people say, well, he's going to sue, okay. He's considered a public figure. I mean, the guy has his own Wikipedia page. He's got a plethora. He's been mentioned in various articles. He's put himself out there. So one can make the argument that he is a public figure. And the thing is that if you're not lying about him, what is there to be worried about? Nobody's lying on him. This is a documented case. He's got charges. So there's that. When he does great work, he does great work. But, it is what it is. You said, yeah, he might be against what he does. But unfortunately, there are people out there that agree with all his actions. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of defenders of him. I would agree with that. I don't think he cares. He discusses part of his past, but not all the crazy people, his past, but not all the crazy people would side-eye him for it. Yeah. And like I said, thank you, Biscuit, for telling him to hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. The other thing to this too is that YouTube does not do background checks, y'all. And that's the beauty of it to a certain degree, because it's like people that have struggled getting a job, like they're able to get on YouTube and make money. I don't see anything wrong with that. But if you're hiding something, the internet's going to find out. That's just how it is, You said, I'm recently finding out he's a jailhouse lawyer. They learn law from the prison library, and they take a lot of absolute nonsense from their cellmates. That's why he's doing all this. Ooh. So is he going to represent himself, or is he going to hire? He should have money to hire a lawyer for this. Uh-oh. Sorry. Hold up, y'all. All right, guys, I got to go because I got to go pick up baby Bunny. I'm getting a call, so I got to go tend to her. Y'all, I will see you guys later on. Maybe we'll see. Two hots and a cot. It's a double-edged sword, that's for sure. But you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You don't have to agree with me. Like I said, y'all might have you guys might feel differently. You're entitled to your opinion. That's the thing. You're entitled to your opinion. And my camera's about to die. I could see it. That's why it's like acting all weird. I will see you guys later, guys. Thank you so much for the support today. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. Hit the like button, hype up, support. Bye, guys. Bye, bye, bye.